This video is sponsored by me. Check out my new Patreon for more content. I am technically homeless, or sheltered homeless, or home full because I move around a lot. I'm a van lifer. It's a very diverse lifestyle, but I like to think there's generally 3 types of van life. Allow me to introduce you. There's the Instagram van life, the most favored, most beautiful version. They have these crazy amazing vans all decked out, looking like a mini mansion, and it all fits in one parking spot. It's awesome! And then there's the travel. Oh man, they look like they're somewhere completely different every day. How are they doing this? It's a very lavish looking lifestyle, and people like to share the best of their experiences. But things aren't always what they seem. Whew. Okay, let's go back to the hotel. It's not all fake, but it's not always as genuine as some people make it look. It takes effort, and I mean a lot of useless effort, to flex that lifestyle. When you add up the cost of gas, insurance, travel, repairs, it can become really expensive and a bit out of reach for most people. Next, there's the weekend warriors, my preferred clan. People who go out on weekends or special occasions. Doesn't really matter. Van life isn't their whole life, and they still have a home to return to. This is really nice. We should do this every weekend. We should do this full time. Fuck no. Weekend warriors. That's where it's at. And finally, there's the full-timers. And that's where we are. People just living a normal life, but in a shoebox-sized home. We live full-time in our van, lovingly named Bento Box, because everything fits inside of it like a little bento box. It was previously named Van Janky because it's been pretty janky under the engine. For example, the windshield wipers gave up while we were driving, the blower motor doesn't work unless you hit it, there's a leak somewhere that trickles into a puddle, lots of other problems. Probably a lot more to be discovered. We got most of the known problems fixed, with a little bit of TLC and some cold hard cash, so we gave her a name change. We started van life because we were so burned out. We just couldn't save any money. We were miserable at our jobs. We wanted less hours. We never had time for each other. We thought a van might give us a reprieve from some of these problems, so we jumped into van life. And it was a disaster. It was terrible. We were not prepared at all, but we learned how to make it work. The lifestyle definitely comes with a fair share of pros and cons. On the upside, we were able to cut back on work hours and still save money. We never have to pack our bags to travel. We just take the whole thing. And if we end up in a sketchy area, it's easy to bounce right out of there. And personally, I like micro-living in a bento box-sized space. The downsides are that we have to drive a hell of a lot more, because bento box doesn't have special perks with the stay. We have to drive somewhere if we want a shower, decent internet, electricity. We do not have a high top, so we have to hunch around a lot. Haven't noticed any long-term problems there, though. People call the cops on us, people knock on the window and ask, "Are you homeless? You look like you're homeless. Are you homeless?" We could probably afford to rent something, but we really don't want to. We're trying to save money to buy a home someday, and besides, I freaking hate the concept of renting. You have the cost of rent, plus the cost of your life just spent making enough money to pay for it, plus nothing, because you don't own it and you never will, no matter how much you spend on rent. I'm giving up years of my life to pay for something I could lose in a month? There is no safety net investment. What was it all for then? Bare minimum comfort that I don't really get to enjoy because I'm working so much just to afford it? To each their own. Van life definitely isn't for everyone, and neither is brick and mortar. Everyone just has to figure out what works best for them. Life's a balancing act, and to do what I enjoy doing, I have to make sacrifices. Sometimes you really can't have it all. Maybe you've thought about trying van life. If you're curious, you should definitely test it out for at least a weekend. Sometimes the idea of something is a lot more enjoyable than the thing itself, but you won't really know the difference until you experience it. Let me know what your thoughts are on it, and if there's something you want me to talk about with van life. Also, thanks for watching. If you like this content, please subscribe, and check out my new Patreon. I'll be posting behind-the-scenes content, including early ad-free releases, episode updates, how I make these videos, and downloadable content. Woo! Take it!